Hey there, I want to talk about Robin Amos a little bit and the impact that he made on me in my life. Robin passed away in 2014. I heard about Robin at the funeral of Charles Ashton, where Ted Nottingham, many of you know Ted, he and I were pallbearers at Charles's funeral. And afterward, Ted said, "Hey, you're living in Chicago," which I was at the time. He said, "There's some people in Chicago you might want to connect with." Guy named by the name of Bernie Edwards. And Bernie introduced me to Robin Amos. And he said Robin was doing a lecture at the Open Center in New York City. So around about the time the World Series in October of 2000, when the Mets, I think, were playing the Yankees that year. And obviously the Mets lost, but I remember seeing the World Series being played as we came in on the plane. That's one of the reasons I remember. But anyway, that's where I first met Robin, at this series of lectures that he gave about Byzantine mystical psychology. And from there, I attended 3 retreats in 3 barns in Devonshire, near Stonehenge in England. And these retreats absolutely changed my life. These retreats were called the Praxis Research Institute retreats. And Praxis Research Institute is still going on. They still have meetings online now. And this was in the tradition of the Fourth Way. So Gurdjieff and Spensky, and in particular the enigmatic third man, Boris Moraviev, who wrote the Gnosis trilogy. And it was through this Fourth Way connection that Robin got interested in the tradition, that the Fourth Way and Orthodoxy were deeply connected, and he was very curious, and he became a fellow worker at a monastery on Mount Athos in Greece, and made over 60 visits to Mount Athos, and was known as a fellow worker there by the monks at this one particular retreat center, or monastery rather. And he started a retreat center there at 3 barns for us. And I went to 3 of these retreats. And these retreats that I went to while living in America and going to England in the early 2000s, right after 9/11, they were pilgrimages for me. They were huge. And I'm very interested in this idea of having a retreat. And I kind of throw this idea out there for some of you are kind of scattered all over who are listening to this channel. If you are interested in eventually having some type of meeting where we can get together and have a retreat where we can discuss these ideas about the Jesus Prayer and about involving the Jesus Prayer in our lives more, and some of the ideas through the Fourth Way and Orthodoxy, which Robin and Gurdjieff and Ouspensky and Moraviev introduced to us. So just want to throw that idea out there and see if there's any interest. You know, the Fourth Way can be very daunting, and when you pick up In Search of the Miraculous and some of these, especially some of the stuff that Gurdjieff wrote, Beelzebub and all these books, I mean, they can be really intimidating. So one of the things that Robin did was he made it very easy for me to understand. And the Fourth Way, just real quick, really implies that the first three centers of our being, the body, the intellect, and the emotional center, the body being symbolized in the fakir, and the intellect in the monk, and then the emotional center in the yogi. The Fourth Way is where all 3 of those are brought together. And one of the ways in which Orthodoxy and the Fourth Way merge together is this idea that the Fourth Way uses uses all three at one time. And what Robin taught was that you use the Jesus prayer, and you involve all three centers, especially the motor center. So the way of the fakir, it's not just enlightenment through the body or through the intellect or through the emotional center. It's all three at one time, and you center all of those. So one of the things that he did was he had us at these retreats. He would have us to have projects in which we were working with our hands, and we were working landscaping or woodworking, some type of project. One of the projects that I did, which was amazing, it was in January of 2005, and I went there just for, it was a week. That's all I went there, and I remember going there, and it was in the winter there in England, and it was just raining, rain. And actually, I was sick when I went there, and I just got better after I got there. It was amazing, even in that winter time. And his job for me was this. He had a separate room there that was climate controlled, but it was his library. And it was huge, a huge library. And hopefully that library, even after his passing over, has remained intact. But he had me to reorganize his library. So all week, I was able to just categorize and go through all of his esoteric books. And he had some amazing books. So I was constantly working with my hands, working with my body and my spirit, using the Jesus prayer as I rearranged that entire. There's like 2,000 books in this library, just shelf after shelf, just an amazing collection, and that's what I did. And my centers, all three centers, all the time, every 8 hours a day for that whole week, were merged together. And that's what I try to do in my life. So as I'm out walking around here, I'm on the second floor here of our house here in Menominee Falls. When I'm even walking to church, or if I'm walking the dogs, or if I'm doing whatever, I try to use the Jesus prayers. I'm doing them, even if I'm doing the dishes, even if I'm doing anything, especially with my hands. I try to do that, and that speeds up the process. Whereas working with the body, the intellect, or the emotional centers just by themselves individually works, but the Fourth Way is quicker because we don't have the luxury of going to a monastery and being able to just study all the time. We can't just do these things. We can't just get away. I've got a family. I've got, I have to have, I work 2 jobs. This is what I do. So that's a very mobile life, and that's what we have to do in our modern society, and that's where this is so pertinent to me, because it's mobile, and that's one of the things that Robin taught me. Very, very practical stuff. I hope this has been helpful. It's fun to talk about these memories that I have regarding Robin Amos and his wife Lillian Delavorius, who was a tremendous artist in her own right, and just being there. Those retreats changed my life, and I would really love to get some of you to be interested in those and see where that takes us. But I really feel like that was something that helped me as in my own journey, and I think that has some potential. But anyway, blessings to you, and just keep up the great work, and we're just going to continue to dive into these ideas and help each other through all this. Blessings to you. Take care.